Okay, welcome everybody here once again in another session. We'll be discussing 2024 shift 2 today. We discussed shift 1 yesterday. If one hasn't gone through that session, please go through that. That was impressive. Today's gonna be another one. Let's start the session. This is RBI Grade B 2024 shift 2 analysis of English section. We go ahead now. But yes, I welcome all of you here. Sakshi, Harar Mahadev. Good afternoon, Nancy, Jajanendra, Muskan, Radhe Radhe, Divyanshi, Vedansh, Sneha, Vishal, Neha, and all of you here. 5 seconds, please. Let me grab this and brightness reduced. Let's go. Objections, welcome. Would love to elaborate wherever possible. If you feel objection to, have a doubt, feel free to say. Let's go. The sentences of the paragraph are given in jumbled order, parajumble, let's say. Lavender, with its beautiful purple blooms, thrives in the temperate climate of Kashmir, Jammu, fine. Unfolding amidst the scenic landscape of Jammu Kashmir, the Purple Revolution, also known as the Lavender Revolution, is transforming the region's agricultural landscape. This initiative, launched by the Ministry of Science and Technology, leverages the fragrant potential of lavender cultivation. Okay, backed by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research Aroma Mission, probably talking about the same stuff. The Purple Revolution, okay, so throughout the passage you are talking about the Purple Revolution, I think, aims to empower farmers and boost the indigenous aromatic crop-based economy. One of the key aspects of the Purple Revolution, okay, so throughout the passage we are talking about Purple Revolution, is the promotion of lavender farming as a lucrative alternative to the traditional crops. Let's welcome Lakshmi. Hey dear. It will be better, in my opinion, to start with the introductory statement that is defining this Purple Revolution. Unfolding amidst the scenic landscape of Jammu and Kashmir, the Purple Revolution, which is further defined known as the Lavender Revolution that you can use later, is transforming the region's agricultural landscape. Common sense is, since we have options all different, B, the initiative when defining the theme of the passage, is given in just one statement. So for clarity, let's go ahead this way, if possible, if correct, B, C, D, E, A. Okay, let me go through this way in order to save time and be precise also. If I am wrong, there'll be a mismatch in between for sure. Radhe Radhe Vishali. Okay, B, C, D, E, A. Unfolding this, the Purple Revolution, known as the Lavender Revolution, is transforming the agricultural landscape. This initiative, probably the Purple Revolution or the Lavender Revolution, was launched by the Ministry of Science and Technology, further descriptive, leveraging the fragrant potential of lavender cultivation, okay, backed by the Council of Scientific Industrial Research Aromas Mission, further descriptive. This Purple Revolution aims to empower farmers and boost the indigenous aromatic crop-based economy. Since it's talking about crops and farming, farmers, one of the key aspects of this Purple Revolution is the promotion of lavender farming. And then you can define lavender with its purple blooms, thrives in the temperature or temperate climate of Jammu and Kashmir. Fine. Shikha, not bad. C and D close together. You can say the fragrance and you can say the aroma. Exactly. So flat, in my opinion, should be correct. B, C, D, E, A. B, the descriptive one. And here we go ahead. Most welcome, Lakshmi. Okay. Doubts, welcome, everybody. Next. The same parable here. Ancient Indian mathematics texts stand as a testament to the remarkable intellectual achievements of early Indian scholars. Okay. When I go ahead, I find out there is another statement talking about the same texts. These texts, remember, these are the ancient ones, dating back to as early as the Vedic period, for sure. The context is still the same. Encompass a variety of mathematical concepts and principles that lay the foundation of subsequent developments in mathematics. Sure. This is also saying laying the foundation of subsequent developments in mathematics. It is quite the same. It was a testament to the remarkable intellectual achievements of early Indian scholars. Fine. Two statements together. Good afternoon, brother. So A and E is available in an option. Can save time. There is another keyword when I read that for the first time. The Indian numerals, probably these numerals or this system or that system. Yes, we have a system here which you can recall there calling this system. Let's eliminate as per the options. AE available in just one. Can check if it is available in any other. No. Let's read this. Clarity will be ours. Uh, Please drop me a message on Telegram. Would love to assist you. Hey dear, PK, most welcome. Go ahead. Ancient mathematics texts stand as a testament to this, and these texts, AE for sure. Now, one of the most notable contributions of the ancient Indian mathematics, fine, going with the same flow, is the development of a system. Perfect, we were correct. You are talking about a system here in D and then referring back to the same system in B, precise. Utilizing a place value system and the concept of a zero as a placeholder, this system revolutionized arithmetic operations and paved the way for advanced mathematical computations. Last is the Indian numerals, including family digits 0 to 9 were transmitted to the West. Fine, fine, fine. Need not check further now. Must be the answer. Proper flow, smooth and such. Welcome Abhinash and all of you. Next. Similarly can never be the first one. In the green light at the end of serves as a symbol of unreachable dreams in this to the American dream itself. Okay. Symbolism, a powerful literary device, has long been employed in both classic and modern literature to convey deeper meanings and evoke profound emotions. Seems to me a descriptive. You are saying symbolism, what is that? Defining it further. A powerful literary device has long been employed in both classic and modern literature. Hey, in classic literature, in modern literature, come on, let's start with B if we are not wrong, and then C till the point we have read the passage. Pragta, good afternoon. For example, that may be someone's examples. In classic literature, once again, can we have B, C available in one of these? Let's eliminate the options accordingly. If we are correct, we will have clarity. B and C. Symbolism, a powerful device, has been employed in both classic and modern literature to cover this and that. Fine. C. In classic literature, authors often used symbolism to infuse their works with the while in modern literature, the use of symbols has evolved to reflect contemporary themes and complexities. Fine. Next is E. In classic literature, you can talk about that later. Yep. Symbols were frequently employed to represent the abstract concepts or universal truth. Okay. D. Putting the example how in classic literature symbols were used to define the abstract concepts or universal truths. Like, for example, in his, this not only had this but also that. Similarly in this, that's also precise, to be clear, to be honest. Putting an example, this movie, this play, this drama, this novel, this book, defining this. Similarly, his this book defining that. 100% correct. Done. Next. At its core, ecotourism seeks to minimize negative impacts on the environment and maximize benefits to local communities. Okay. At its core, ecotourism. Unlike the traditional tourism, which often exploits natural resources and disturbs the local ecosystems, ecotourism prioritizes sustainability, conservation, while offering travelers unique experiences in the ancient or the pure environments. Both seem to me a descriptive one. This is achieved, can never be a descriptive one, by fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for the natural world. Ecotourism not only supports conservation efforts, okay, so throughout the passage you're talking about ecotourism, ecotourism, ecotourism. Moreover, should be the additional component, can never be the first one. C can't start, E can't start. I think B should be a better one because you are putting the theme this way. Unlike this tourism, which exploits natural resources, this tourism you are introducing, saying this is not that beneficial, this is that beneficial. Probably. Let's go with the flow in case we have options. B, the first one, B, A, C, D, E. If we are precise, it will be all okay. B, A, and then C, D, E. Okay, B, A. Unlike Traditional tourism, which defines this, ecotourism prioritizes sustainability, conservation while offering them unique experiences in the pristine environment. At its core, ecotourism, not bad, seeks to minimize the negative impacts on environment. If you go with the flow, it is correct. Traditional tourism exploits natural resources, and this is unlike that. That means it must not exploit natural resources. So ecotourism seeks to minimize the negative impact on the environment. Superb. And maximize benefits to the local community, giving them unique experience is also precise. Superb. Now CDE. Now this is achieved, probably this, through careful planning, management of the tourist activities like this, and that. Yep, not bad. By fostering a deeper understanding, appreciation for the natural world, it not only supports conservation efforts but also promotes environmental education, awareness. Not bad. Moreover, additional information at the end. Sure. Done. Not just answering but also being sure that what we answered is correct. Neha, good afternoon. You have to grab the tone of the paragraph, say the theme of the paragraph. His international impact was easily equivalent to that of the contemporaries. Finding an audience in Chicago as early as the 1890s. Okay. Nevertheless, he was denied academic promotion. As his father had died while he was young, he was appointed as a guardian who owned a music publishing house and left Samuel a considerable inheritance, financially securing his intellectual pursuits. The passage started with a positive tone. His international impact was equivalent to that of someone finding an audience in Chicago International as early as the 1890s. That's positive, I would say, as per the theme. Nevertheless, you better know, puts contrast. However, although, but he was denied academic promotion. Here comes the negativity. Father died when he was young. Negativity. But now themes are changing. He was appointed a guardian who owned a music publishing house, who left Samuel a considerable inheritance, financially securing his intellectual pursuits. So I think it is positive, negative, positive in such and such. Intense, showing intensity, not bad, but I think it's somehow shuffling one. Not just intense or severe, because if you say intense, then he was internationally famous. Should be intense. Mocking, making fun of someone? No. Double think? Yes. Defines the contrast. Outrage, fierce, anger, not here. Whimsical, based on impulse, impetus. Cynical, not such. Double think, which defines contrast, and then contrast, which is here. Simran, good afternoon, beta. You have to pick the word precisely and mark the correct usage as your answer. Waiver is an exemption, just like waive off charges. For example, for the credit card, we were charged 499 rupees, the annual charges, and 89 rupees GST also. But for the sake of good relation with the bank and such, these charges were waived off. So we can say exemption, removal, can ignore and such. The athlete signed a waiver absolving the organizers of any liability. Yes, if you say waiver, it will absolve them of the liability in case of injury during the competition. Fine, is correct. The manager issued a waiver to exempt, that's what it is, exemption, the employee from attending the mandatory workshop due to poor training is correct. The senator proposed a waiver, fine, to articulate the benefits of upcoming healthcare reforms better. Come on, this is not the function of waiver. You waive off, you remove, exempt, absolve, not articulate the benefits. You are explaining the benefits of the upcoming healthcare reforms better. That's not the precise usage of waiver. So the first one and the second one only, A and B is the answer. PK, hey dear, yes, we will have complete batches since that's an English medium channel, so saying in English. आपने हिंदी में लिखा है, आपसे हिंदी कह देता हूँ. जी हाँ, प्री की भी, मेंस की भी, डिस्क्रिप्टिव भी तैयारी रहती है। स्वागत आपका, क्लासेस में आपसे मिलते हैं, कल से स्टार्ट है। मोस्ट वेलकम है डियर, वुड लव टू सी यू ऑनेस्टली। कोई भी डाउट है आप लिखिएगा, नो प्रॉब्लम। नेक्स्ट, once again, culminate, which is to reach the top of something, reach the climax, reach the maximum point. Just like Virat Kohli, although retired yesterday at 9,000 runs such, but had he achieved 10,000 plus, he would have culminated his, what should I say, test career also. However, culminate is not a transitive verb. He culminated in 100 centuries, 71 centuries and such. Okay, reach the climax, reach the maximum point and such. Years of meticulous research and collaboration will culminate in the launch of the organization's most ambitious climate project to date. Is precise. After years of meticulous research and collaboration, we will have this product at the end. Yep, that's the maximum output. The artist's new exhibition culminates several themes. New exhibition can culminate several themes she has explored throughout her career. No, that's not culmination, reaching the maximum point or the what should I say, potential and such. That's not the definition of culminate. The heated debate between the two political candidates culminated the evening. It's not transitive, that's intransitive. You can not have an object after this. You could have said culminated in the evening with this or that, or concluded the evening with a handshake and such. So this is grammatically wrong, that is contextually wrong. The first one should be precise in general. Next, acrimonious. I think all of you know bitterness in relation and anything such. Acrimonious, having the bitterness. The board meeting ended on acrimonious note, should be negative, huh? With members exchanging sharp accusations and walking out mid-discussion. Fine, can feel the negativity. They walked out mid-discussion. They were exchanging sharp accusations. Okay. Her acrimonious, hold on a sec. Acrimonious is an adjective. Her, the possessive adjective, takes a noun. There should be a subject here, a noun here, not an adjective. B is grammatically horrible. The acrimonious climate should be negative, remember. Of the courtroom made it difficult for the jury, okay, to remain unbiased throughout the proceedings. Fine. We can score 22 plus in English. Yes, we can, brother. Not one line applies to all. Yes, we can score 22 if your reading is good. For example, in this particular one, we had 10 questions in RC. I would say out of the remaining 20, you can go through 17. They were not impossible. We are solving live. Please check. Yes, if you didn't have time, because for sure we get 25 minutes only. Jai Mahakal, Aman. In the meantime, you could have answered 4 to 5 questions at least without even going through the whole RC. Going through the RC, grabbing the theme somehow through skimming, we could have answered. So I won't say it's impossible. It's difficult. Of course it is, but not impossible. We can, if we have good reading skills and such, because reading comes into play here. So yep, it was difficult for the jury, the negativity, sorry, not positive, with the acrimonious environment out there in the courtroom to remain unbiased throughout the proceedings. Fine, people were probably having sharp accusations on each other. First and third is precise, leaving the second one is correct. The wholesale error detection. Price-based inflation rose for the 2 consecutive done. Let me click the answer first. Of course, why? Because you can't say 2 month. But later on, I realized it shouldn't be 2 months here. It should be for the second, because you are saying consecutive month and you are defining in the first month, in the second month and such. The wholesale price-based inflation rose for the second consecutive month to a 27-month high in Feb. That is just defining 1 month, probably the second month. Feb being the second month. Yeah. A pivotal event in this is the family's experience. Hold on. Family's noun, experience noun, 2 nouns should be coming together. However, if we say this family, that family's experience, put an apostrophe here to define the possession, An important event in this is the family's experience, an experience of this that ravaged the country in 83 and signaled this or that. Two nouns shouldn't be together. Family's experience. Once again, fraction B. Sorry. An option B. At the end of the session, I will have a word with you. Please, please, please be attentive right now. And at the end, we will have a word. Promise, I will. Our mixed feelings about reporting the deaths of vaccine skeptics reflects, hold on, feelings, subject, plural, reflects. So feelings reflect. He goes to school, but they go to school. With a plural subject, we don't have SES to the verb. Dropped. B again. Yes. Abusive language posted on online spaces where the sport is now consumed by global audiences may shaped one of the panaceas when I teach models take fresh V1, not V3 or V2 or anything such. See, may shaped, impossible. Now, the word that can define the theme of the passage, after evidence pointing in both directions, doctors confirmed a reinfection for the first time in August. These numbers could change as the pandemic progresses, as the 32 infection cases, reinfection cases to be precise, are those that were definitively confirmed by a doctor, and it's possible that others slipped through the cracks. They are not visible over here, just 32 confirmed by the doctors. The others slipped through the cracks. And with just a few months at most between infections, we could see rising reinfection numbers whenever the immune system's coronavirus resistance naturally wears off. If it does, this should be intense because we may see rising infection or reinfection numbers. Perturbing, that means disturbing. Yes, it should be. It's not irrelevant, it's irreverent. Not showing respect. In this context, we are not supposed to show respect or not show respect. Hypercritical. Yes, but that's not hypercritical. That means excessively critical. That's a matter of concern that 32, not 3,02,000 or 3 billion cases are there. Had it been 3 billion cases, 3 million cases, could have been hypercritical. Curt, nothing like that, and derisory, no defamation marks, remarks, nothing such. So yeah, it's quite disturbing that we may see 32 reinfection cases and that number may rise. That's a problem of, or a matter of concern for us, not hypercritical. Hypercritical will be extreme. At the excessive level, it will be. 32 cases won't be excessive. That's concern or a matter of concern that cases are coming again and we are seeing rising number in that. Okay, correct one. We stand at the risk of failure if we do not plan our steps ahead and rather play it by ear. Whatever we listen, we agree to that and just plan accordingly. It's precise. See this. Play it by ear. I heard this. I read on WhatsApp. It happens. And considering that true without even checking the authenticity and such. We stand the risk of failure if we do not plan our steps ahead and rather play it by ear, of course. We stand the risk of failure if we just believe what we see here. If we don't plan our steps, of course we stand the risk of failure. Is correct. He was so angry at the man who crashed his car into the bike that he released his anger. Vent your anger, vent his spleen, releasing anger. And he was angry, he released his anger, is all correct. Next. He has never shown good judgment and has always voted with his feet. Leave the organization, leave the company, vote with the feet and such. Whenever it came to making an important decision, this is not at all a vote because here you are using the idiom in the literal sense, not in the idiomatic sense. I repeat, you are using the idiom in the literal sense. Those who understand Hindi, dal mein kuch kale mein dal hi dhoond rahe ho, not in the idiomatic sense. In this voting, you are using voting, judgment and such and such. That should be the idiomatic sense. Fine, the first and second are correct. So now the RC, discussing pretty soon, but let me go ahead and mark the remaining ones. First, we'll discuss the RC for sure. Once again, among all the students, Rajesh, who has been suspended twice, hold on, suspended twice, is the cream of the crop, the best. The one who has been suspended, how can he be the best? Horrible. By cancelling the program at the last minute, you really upset the apple cart, disturb something which was already set. So by cancelling the program, yes, of course, you have upset the apple cart. Correct. Ever since they came up with the idea of opening a restaurant, they've been talking turkey. They've been discussing in detail starting a restaurant. Let's discuss in detail. So that is also precise. So the second and the third one. Radhe Radhe, don't be sorry. Welcome. A close test, an easy peasy one, I would say. Homo sapiens, the species to which all modern human beings belong. Homo sapiens is one of the several species, blank space into, look at the preposition, into the genus Homo, but is one that is not extinct. Okay, I would love to say grammar, because whatever you pick must be grammatically and contextually correct. It can't be grammatically wrong. So, Homo sapiens is one of the several species, blank space into the genus Homo, is grouped into, yep, a number of varieties such, several species grouped into this, okay, is classified into this, fine, inclusive of, I would say. Grammatically, I would love to prefer answer first and second, not the third one. So for sure, both of these, first and second, and is the answer. Grouped into, classified into, be a part of. Inclusive is fine, but preposition went wrong. Inclusive into will be horrible. But that is the one in such and such. It had long been known that human beings physically resemble the primates. Blank space closely, then easiest of the lot. Then is a comparative one. More than is correct. Far than, much than, not at all. So just the first one. Concerned exclusively with the similarities in bodily structure, faced only the problem of distinguishing Homo sapiens from apes. Blank space differ from humans in this or that. We have a finite verb after that. Something. Blank space differ from humans. Whom is used for human beings, fine, but is the objective case. Cannot take a finite verb after that. Whose is the possessive case. There should be a noun after that. The girl whose parents helped you that day. The students whose documents have not been submitted. The friend whose nickname is such and such. We have just one relative pronoun for those species and such. Apes which differ from humans. Probably who differ from humans, but not whom or whose. So just the first one. Now, that was interesting. This record contains numerous extinct species that are much more closely related to the humans than to today's apes, and that were presumably more similar to the Homo sapiens behaviorally as well. Blank space the ancestors of modern human beings into the distant past raises the question of what is meant by the word human. Once again, would love to emphasize the preposition that is going to follow. Blank space the ancestors of modern human being. The ancestors of modern human being into the distant past. So what we are, we have to blank space our ancestors into the distant past. Raises the question of what is meant by the word this or that. If we follow the ancestors into the distant past, go there in past, follow them, not bad. If we trace them, they are synonymous. Follow them, trace them, they are the same. Of course, we are tracing their footprints and such, their existence, fine. But when it comes to finding out, just like a research and such, of course, we study. And in this context, for the record, this and that, of course, study won't be a bad word. So all of these, following the ancestors into the distant past, tracing them into the distant past, and studying them into the distant past raises this or that. All correct. Last. Then we head on to the RC. The last one. who were clearly not Homo sapiens but were nonetheless very much like them. There is no blank space answer to this question. Who were clearly not Homo sapiens but were nonetheless very much like them. There is no, can I say, definite answer? Can I say conclusive answer? Say precise answer, intact answer to this question. Vivid answer? Vivid shows variety in terms of being strong. There's no vivid answer. Horrible. Absolve, to free somebody from guilt or crime. Answers cannot be made free from guilt or crime. Horrible options. Yes, there is no definite answer, conclusive answer, precise answer to this question. So as per the context, just one option precise. Let's go to the RC. First of all, reading this. Okay. Lungs, please come. In the realm of scientific exploration, this hypothesis has sparked significant intrigue and debate. To get the ball rolling, it was there yesterday, on this groundbreaking idea, the renowned scientist introduced the hypothesis in 70s, proposing that planet Earth operates as a single interconnected organism. This revolutionary concept suggests all living beings and their environments form a complex and self-regulating system. The hypothesis challenges conventional thinking about the relationship between life and the planetary environment, presenting Earth not just a lifeless rock supporting life, but as an integrated and dynamic entity. The term originates from Greek mythology, referring to the ancient goddess personifying the Earth. His hypothesis presents an alternative perspective, suggesting that Earth itself exhibits characteristics of a living organism. A fundamental principle of the hypothesis is the presence of homeostasis, probably the pronunciation, a state of equilibrium that allows the planet to maintain stable conditions conducive to life. Feedback mechanisms, both positive and negative, play a crucial role in regulating Earth's systems. These mechanisms ensure that any disturbances or challenges are counteracted, helping the planet adapt and sustain the delicate balance necessary for the continuity of life. The hypothesis reorganizes the biosphere, the zone where life flourishes, as a critical component of Earth's living superorganism. From microorganisms to plants, animals, humans, all interact with their environment, exchanging vital elements and energy. This intricate web of life forms a symphony of interdependent relationships working harmoniously to support the collective survival and thriving of the biosphere. Climate plays a significant role in this perspective as it impacts the stability of Earth's systems and the distribution of life. As conscious inhabitants of Earth, humans hold a unique position within the framework. Our actions, choices, impact on the planet play a pivotal role in shaping the Earth or the health, and longevity of Earth's living superorganism. The hypothesis calls for a shift in our perception of the planet, emphasizing the importance of environmental stewardship, sustainable practices, and the preservation of biodiversity. No scientific hypothesis is immune to criticism, and this is no exception. Skeptics argue against the notion of Earth as a living organism, citing the lack of clear mechanisms and empirical evidence to support the hypothesis. Some critics contend that the apparent self-regulation observed in Earth systems can be attributed to the natural, physical, and chemical processes rather than a conscious living entity. Additionally, the idea of this as a single unified organism faces challenges regarding the delineation of its boundaries and the mechanisms by which it functions. Despite the criticisms, proponents of this argue that it provides a useful framework for understanding the complex interactions between life and the environment. They point to various lines of evidence that support the idea of Earth as a self-regulating system. I repeat, Earth is a self-regulating system. For example, the regulation of atmospheric composition by living organisms like the balance of oxygen CO2 suggests a feedback mechanism that maintains a suitable environment for life. The hypotheses have far-reaching implications for our understanding of the Earth's past, present, and future. By recognizing, Earth as a living superorganism, we gain insights into the fragility and resilience of our planet. The concept of this prompts us to consider the long-term consequences of human activities on the Earth systems, from the exploitation of natural resources to the effects of climate change. By embracing the perspective, we can adopt a holistic approach to the environment management and work towards sustainable practices that promote the well-being of both the planet and the inhabitants. The hypothesis also has practical applications in fields as ecology, conservation, and environmental policy. Understanding Earth as a living system encourages scientists and policymakers to consider the interconnectedness of ecological processes and the potential impacts of human actions on the planet Earth. By applying the principles of this, we can develop strategies for biodiversity conservation, land management, climate change mitigation that take into account the complex interactions within the biosphere. As our understanding and its interconnected systems continue to evolve, the hypothesis remains an intriguing avenue for scientific exploration. Researchers are delving into various aspects of this, such as investigating the role of microbial communities in regulating global biogeochemical cycles, studying the potential influence of biodiversity on the stability, exploring the impact of human-induced changes on Earth's self-regulation. Through ongoing research, scientists aim to unravel the complexities of Earth living superorganism and expand our knowledge of the interconnectedness between life and the environment. Collaboration between scientific disciplines is crucial in advancing our understanding. By integrating insights from ecology, geology, atmospheric sciences, and other fields, researchers can gain a comprehensive understanding of the intricate web of interactions that shape the Earth's systems. Furthermore, interdisciplinary collaboration fosters dialogue between scientists, philosophers, scholars, leading to a more holistic and integrated understanding of the hypothesis and the broader implications. Huh. Vaibhav, bring me a glass of water, please. A jug of or an ocean of water. Which of the following statements best define? Actually, the options were easy, to be honest. I read the passage so that if you haven't gone through this, thank you, Nancy. So that if you haven't gone through the passage before, just by going through this at once, you can get the clear picture, the gist, the sum and substance, and you can answer accordingly. I would say 6 questions can be answered just by having a look. The options were not that difficult. Which of the following best reflects a key claim made under the hypothesis? Earth is a static system whose environmental conditions are shaped only by geological activity. What about the human activity and such? Not that appropriate. The hypothesis emphasizes human dominance over the planetary processes. No dominance has been displayed. Earth's living, non-living components function together as a self-regulatory system. They have said that dozens of times, that that's a self-regulating system. Yes, it is. This revolutionary concept suggests that all living beings and the environments form a complex and self-regulating system. Vaibhav. Thank you. So which of the following statements accurately defines the applications or evidence supporting this? Earth's atmospheric composition is regulated by living organisms through feedback mechanisms. Earth's atmospheric composition is regulated by living organisms through the feedback mechanism. Probably this line is not negative, I would say. Yes, it is. A state of equilibrium that allows the planet to maintain stable conditions conducive to life. Feedback mechanisms play a crucial role in regulating the Earth's system. Yep. The hypothesis has practical relevance in environmental policy and climate change mitigation. Uh-oh, that's horrible. Hypothesis has practical relevance in environmental policy and climate change mitigation. Just a sec. Concept is limited to theoretical discussions and lack any real-world applications. Throughout the passage, they haven't said concept is limited to just the theoretical discussions. They have defined everything practically. I'm not sure about the second one. First one is precise for sure. The hypothesis has practical relevance in environmental policy and climate change mitigation. Yes, they have, because later on they have said that we need to do something. Investigating the role of this and that, we should do this, we should do that. From the exploitation, by embracing this, we can adopt a holistic approach to the management and work towards sustainable practices. well-being, yes, can mitigate the climate change. First and second, both is correct. Yes, we have to work something towards the sustainable practices that promote the well-being of both the planet and the inhabitants. So won't be wrong is correct in the theme of the passage. Sure. Humans hold a unique role in the framework, with their actions significantly influencing the planet's systems. Practices like deforestation, pollution, climate change, yes, climate change is there. Yes, climate change is there. Have altered Earth's delicate balance. This line was there, delicate balance. No problem, it is marked over here. No problem. Embracing the perspective encourages sustainable practices that prioritize the well-being of both the planets and the inhabitants. We recently marked this of both the inhabitants. Yes. In light of this, how do human activities influence Earth's self-regulating systems according to this? By enhancing, remember, how do human activities influence the self-regulating system according to the hypothesis? By enhancing Earth's natural defense mechanisms and accelerating the biodiversity growth. I don't think so. Defense mechanism is enhanced is there in the passage. By reinforcing the stability of the biosphere through technological innovation alone. Now that's a whole process, not just one thing alone, and technology hasn't been discussed in detail out there. By disturbing the feedback mechanism and requiring intentional stewardship to restore the balance, we can say that by isolating life forms from the environmental processes hasn't been discussed out there. Isolating life forms from the environmental process, not there. By making Earth system independent of natural interactions leading to self. Now that's a natural process as clearly marked. I think human activities disturb the feedback mechanism for sure. Disturb the feedback mechanism by deforestation, pollution, climate change, disturbing the balance also. Yep. Yes, this is there in the passage, but I think need not check the exact line. The rest of the options are clearly negative, so can clearly eliminate them also. What is the time we have? Can discuss, no problem. Delicate balance was there in the passage. Skeptics argue you can see the conclusion here. That should be here in the same paragraph, I think. The hypothesis calls for a shift in our perception of the planet, emphasizing the importance of environmental stewardship, sustainable practices, and the preservation of biodiversity. Done. If you have objection, can freely say. Which of the following best defines the passage's perspective on the role of life forms in Earth's self-regulating systems as presented in the hypothesis? Microorganisms and plants contribute to local ecosystems but have no influence on Earth's broader environmental systems. They are saying that's a complete process. No one has the dominance, no one is less important. So I won't say microorganisms contribute to the local system but don't have any significance. They have. Biosphere operates independently of the non-living elements. No. Life and everything is interconnected. No. The hypothesis downplays the role of biodiversity. It doesn't. Human activity is the only meaningful contributor. No. Life forms from microbes to humans are interconnected and they exchange energy and elements to maintain the planetary stability. Straight answer in just one line, what has been marked throughout the passage. Rest of those were saying this alone, that alone, this alone, that alone. They are separated, downplaying, independent. No, they are not independent. They are dependent on each other or one another. So according to the passage, what is a significant aspect of the human role with the hypothesis framework, humans have no impact, drop it. Human activity disturbs the natural ecosystems beyond repair, probably not. Human decisions and actions play a crucial part in shaping Earth's future and maintaining the balance is correct. Humanity's influence is isolated, not at all. They are encouraged to avoid interfering with the natural processes and allowed to function independently. They are not independent. That's a complete process as marked in the previous one also. So you can't say they are independent, they are isolated, beyond repair, not such. You can. A stable, just like yesterday's question it is, a stable yet sensitive system regulating life on the earth. What does that mean? A climatic system, a climate system that automatically adjusts to the natural changes without disturbance. That's a stable one, but sensitive. With disturbance should have been there. Earth system that maintains balance but is affected for sure. It maintains balance, is stable, but is affected. That means it is vulnerable. It's susceptible. It is weak. It is prone. It is affected. Yep, need not check the others. So, what properly defines the criticisms raised by the hypothesis in the passage? Criticisms are here. Critics argue there is insufficient evidence to prove that Earth behaves like a living organism. In the first line, I think. They argue the notion of Earth as a living organism, citing the lack of clear mechanisms and evidence to support the hypothesis. Of course, they show insufficient evidence. The self-regulation observed in Earth's systems can be explained by purely physical and chemical. Probably they are saying natural also. Natural also, everyone. They are saying purely physical and chemical, but they said can be attributed to natural, physical and chemical processes. So second one shouldn't be correct. First one fine. The proponents, they are also here, reject the idea that natural processes contribute to Earth's environmental balance. Proponents, why would they reject? They must support. They are the proponents, not the opponents. So I would say just the first one. Oh, I went wrong. Where? Just a sec. Critics argue, you are asking the correct one, which of the accurately reflects the criticisms. Just a sec. Critics argue there is insufficient empirical evidence to prove Earth behaves like a living organism. Yup, straight in the first line. They argue against the notion of Earth as a living organism, citing the lack of clear mechanisms and empirical evidence to support the hypothesis. Self-regulation observed in the Earth systems can be explained by purely physical and chemical processes. I think that is also natural. Proponents of this reject the idea that natural processes contribute to the Earth's environmental balance. Proponents argue that it provides a useful framework for understanding the complex interactions. They point to various lines of evidence that support the idea of Earth as a self-regulating, for example, the regulation of atmospheric composition by living organisms, the balance of oxygen, and feedback mechanism that maintains. Not sure about the third one. They reject the idea that natural processes contribute to Earth's environmental balance. Oh, this has gone horrible. Okay, dropping the 21st one, but we'll have to discuss before I leave. So let me put emphasis on this again. I got this correct. Why this time I got this wrong? Critics argue there is lack of evidence. Self-regulation can be explained by purely physical, and the first and second is the answer. But they said it's natural also. Earth systems can be attributed to natural, physical and chemical processes rather than... Okay, so that means probably just missing a word, but conveying the same theme, denying... Okay, no problem. Denying a conscious and living identity, considering 2, 3, 1, no problem. Okay, the first one is correct as clearly stated. Welcome, Isha. Second one is correct, not wrong, because they are putting contrast to conscious and living identity. However, that's a physical process. Yep, that's a chemical process and a natural process also. No problem. The self-regulation can be explained by physical chemical processes, not process. Fine, 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 fine. Can include one more rather than a conscious or a living entity. Okay, 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 okay. So it's correct. Your doubts, welcome. Which is not discussed as a focus of current research in the passage. Remember, which is not discussed. Research on how microbial communities influence global biochemical, this is there, probably in the last slide, microbial in this one. The passage being long takes time to grab the keywords. And of course, standing here and explaining this way, okay, it was there, no problem. Investigations into the connection between biodiversity and Earth's environmental stability, yep, there's a connection. Studies exploring the philosophical meaning of Earth's geological development over time, philosophy is there, we'll have to check. Analysis of human-induced disturbances to the earth regulating system. Yep, deforestation, pollution and such was there. Interdisciplinary efforts combining science and philosophy to study holistically. Something such is there. Let me check philosophy. Either C or E here. Furthermore, interdisciplinary collaboration fosters dialogue between scientists, philosophers. That is correct. So I think C should be the answer. Exactly. Studies exploring the philosophical meaning of Earth's geological development over time. No philosophy has been discussed throughout the passage. Throughout the passage, you can see the passage, we read that just because of that. No philosophy and the philosophical meaning of Earth's development over time, not once, at a point of time in the past, over time, hasn't been discussed in the passage. They used the word philosophy at the end there, philosophers, and that is clearly stated in E, not C. Last, probably second last. Which of the following best reinforces the central idea of the passage? Okay, scientific theories about Earth's structure continue to evolve with new advances in data collection method. No such method is there in the passage. They continue to evolve is correct. Systems continue to evolve, but with new technology, data collection method will be ambiguous. Environmental changes occur naturally over time, independent of human forestation, deforestation, pollution. No. Many ancient civilizations believed in Earth's spiritual essence, but modern science dismisses. Not there in the passage. The hypothesis challenges us to reimagine Earth as a living superorganism. Yes, it does. Saying this is a superorganism twice. Yep, there also. The hypothesis recognizes the biosphere, the zone where life flourishes, as a critical component of Earth's living superorganism. So I think that should be correct, where all the elements are interconnected and they contribute to the planet's self-regulating systems. That's what they've been discussing throughout the passage. All of them are interconnected. Last. Probably, yes, it is last. So what is the meaning of to get the ball rolling? Yesterday we discussed. Vaibhav. To get the ball rolling. To continue to do something or start doing something. Delay? No. Resist? No. Stop? Not at all. Complicate? No. To begin a process or continue to do this. Done. So that's all we had in this session. Finishing those 30 questions in detail, putting emphasis on each and everything. Thank you. That was my time. See you in classes tomorrow at 2 p.m. on the app. And for sure, would love to go ahead with the offer that I would love to mark here. We have this Buddha Purnima offer in which if you grab any subscription here at Olive Board, the regulatory one in which you get access to all the regulatory classes, courses, the upcoming ones also, can get, if I'm not wrong, 52% off. Flat 52% off one can grab. Okay, bye-bye, take care, be safe everybody. Thank you. If you have any objection, feel free to say. It's not visible, no problem. Yes, this was the one I was talking about. 52% off on all SSC regulatory subscriptions, that is SSC selected over there. Can use the code BUDH and grab 52% off. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Praktha. Let the sleeping dogs lie to leave whatever was going on. Muskan, Radhe Radhe, thanks a lot for the presence. Muskan, Vaibhav, thank you so much, brother. Devyanshi, Vaishali, Vedansh, Lovely, Isha, Sneha, Vaishali, Radhe Radhe, Lakshmi, thank you. A hard nut to crack, indefatigable. Kya baat hai? Thank you so much. Raj, how to get better? You are able to read the passage fluently and understand easily just by practice, brother. Just by sheer practice and daily reading skills. Okay, I won't say sheer practice to that long, like you should solve 15 mocks a day, nothing such. But I would definitely say if you really want to see the difference, just go through any newspaper, magazine, novel, etc. 10 to 15 minutes a day, but diversify your topics. That means not every day are we supposed to read cricket news just. Go through cricket, someday economics, someday business, someday politics, someday music, someday Bollywood, this, so that mind will be able to read everything that is put across. If we justify our feelings and our choices, we won't be able to read something that is related to, say, I'm a student of mathematics, to be honest. Why would I read biosphere and everything such? I'm not related to chemistry anymore. But still, if a passage comes, we'll have to read that wholeheartedly. So 10 to 15 minutes a day. If you do more, your choice, but minimum 10 to 15 minutes and diversified topics, different topics each and every day. And promise in a month, you will see the difference. Thanks a lot, Raj. Okay. See you, everybody here. Bye-bye. See you pretty soon. Thank you.